Have you ever felt like you're caught in between second and third base and you're trying to figure out if you want to do well at home and business and all areas of life, what in the world do you have to do to make it all happen? You're not alone. We're tackling that this week and more on Leading Forward.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick Edwards. I'm here with my great friend, Jeremy Prather. Ready to go, brother?
Been ready, man. So fired up for this.
Hey, welcome. This is the very first episode of Leading Forward with Nick and Jeremy. We're so honored that you would choose to join us. We believe this is going to add great value to people's life, and we're going to invite you into some of our conversations as we just look at life, leadership, business, and how do we navigate all these things as leaders in our world today.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be really good. I'm really
fired
excited about it. Here's what we realize. There are so many people who are overwhelmed by so many different things. They're trying to be leaders. They're trying to be business leaders. They're trying to lead in their churches. They're trying to lead in their families.
Yeah.
And they're pulled in so many different directions that so often they actually lose their soul in the process of trying to do everything. And so we want to give them some resources, some ideas, some structure, and maybe even some different vision for their life to be able to move forward with purpose, with passion, and really fulfilling God's call for their life.
That's right. That's one of the biggest things that we want everybody to take away and know up front about this podcast is that, man, we are going to share faith. We're going to share what spiritual leadership looks like in every area of your life. The big issues that we're facing in culture, man, we're gonna tackle some of these things head on because we encounter these things daily sometimes. So we want this not just to be something that is fun for you on your drive, which I hope it is. We're going to laugh.
Absolutely. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a good time.
Awesome guests. But also, man, we really want to equip you to be able to, like day one, like today, have things, every single episode that you take with you and apply to your life to build your faith and encourage you.
Yeah, Jeremy, I think that's one of the things that, one of my favorite things that John Maxwell says is a lot of times we just want to get fat with knowledge. But one of my favorite quotes from him is we got to learn a little, do a little. What's the application of these real world truths, these biblical truths, and how do they apply to our life? And how do we begin putting them in action, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the things I've realized, and I think we've talked about it a little bit, is there's so many people that are just wired to win. They want to win. Right. They want to go do great things. They almost feel shameful and guilty by telling people God's vision and dreams for their life.
That's probably been you and me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know it's been me.
And so we want to achieve this level, and we almost feel shameful for it because we're also taught and told, well, you need to be content.
Yes.
And how do you balance that?
How do you live in that tension right
That's
there?
right. And I think that's some of the things we want to be able to unpack throughout this show.
Absolutely.
So as we begin thinking about it, what are some things that people can expect as we unpacked Leading Forward, as we begin going into episode 2, 10, and 20? What can people expect from Leading Forward?
What you're going to get is 25, 30 minutes, average maybe, drive time, workout, whatever you got going on. As we have guests on, you were talking about this last week. We're probably going to go longer, and I hope we do, because there's just going to be some great content, some amazing perspectives on people who've done it well, people who are doing it well right now. So for everybody, whether it's a man, a woman, a young adult, you're in your 50s and you're killing it already in business and you want to level up, this is for you. This is for them. This is for anybody who wants to lead better within their home. Dads who want to level up and become better, more present. We're going to touch on a lot of different things that are going to be so sticky, so practical. Moms who are trying to figure out, my wife has been a stay-at-home mom, which I don't love that term. We're going to talk about that. She's also a nurse. In different seasons, she's done different things. So I think this is going to apply and be practical, Nick, for people in a lot of different seasons of life.
Well, and that's what we want. We want this to be real life for people who are, whether you're 23 and you're new into the work field, you're new into ministry, you're newly married, or you're 65 and you're at a different season and you're wondering, how do I leave a legacy? How do I have purpose for this next season of life? But we've all gone on this journey to get to where we are today.
That's right.
And we all take these different paths and it never looks like we thought, right? And so when we've
right.
talked about your story and my story,
Yeah.
we never would have guessed. We would have been sitting right here at 410 Studios and just talking about what does God have next? What does it mean to impact the business world? What does it mean to lead leaders? What does it mean to have a spiritual mindset as we go through those different things?
Absolutely.
So why don't you take us a minute and just tell us a little bit about your story?
Yeah, Nick, thanks, man. Earlier this week, I was reflecting on the journey that it's been. I am from the Midwest. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Grew up with 3 older brothers in a home where, man, Christ was taught. And man, I knew Christ at an early age. I surrendered to him at 9. And then I've got an adventurous heart, right? I'm an Enneagram 8, but I have a wing 7, and that's the adventurous spirit, Nick. So man, I joined the Marine Corps, and my dad was a Marine. My brother was a Marine. Left home. And then when I left home, man, I just started seeking everything I could experience. And that took me down a different path than I should have been on. But all roads lead back to the Lord, as far as the ones that I was on. All the different decisions that I made, the Lord had me the whole time. He used my now wife, who I met in San Diego, brought us back to this amazing church under the leadership of Pastor Miles McPherson.
Okay.
Amazing guy.
Yeah.
Amazing ministry. Still to this day, he's out there just getting it, Nick. And so we came back. So I hadn't known the Lord, but I was not pursuing the things of the Lord, the people of the Lord. And but then we just heard the Lord call us back. We began to surrender ourselves with godly community. We saw Jesus in people. And eventually, after a couple of deployments, it was time to get out. Joined the United States Marshal Service. So was doing fugitives and gangs and sex offenders, doing all that work of justice. I loved it until it was time. God, I think Toby Mack says this, but I swear, brother, I don't swear, but I think I came up with it first. It became like a fire in my bones. And you know that feeling. The calling feels like a fire in your bones, and you can't. Somebody asked me one time, or they actually stated, if you could do anything else other than ministry, you should do it.
You should.
And I was put off by that, bro. I was put off by that. That frustrated me. And then I got it.
Yeah, I think there's this tension, and I've experienced this, and I was a police officer and living in that same world. I think we actually were doing some police work during the same time and even in the same areas. But what happens when you've been called and you're going through a different season of life and God takes you over here, and it's a season of preparation?
Yes.
And it's actually preparing you for a different level of ministry, a different idea of ministry.
Right.
And one of my favorite things that I say a lot is you may not be in the best place, but you're in the right place to prepare for the next place.
Say that again, because I love that one.
Yeah. So you may not be in the best place. A lot of people feel like that, right? But you are in the right place to prepare for the next place.
Yes.
And if we can get to the point going, every season of life is about preparing and using that as a season of preparation for what's next, it changes our mindset.
Man, so talk to us a little bit about how your journey, your specific, unique journey has prepared you for this. Now, you're a leadership coach, and we've got that in common as well. So how did it equip you?
You never can write the story as good as God writes, right? Yeah. That all roads lead back to God's purpose and his divine calling upon your life. Man, at 16, I knew God was calling me to pastor and to lead, and knew that divine call. I had that same conversation with Pastor, my mentor, and just saying, if you can do something else, go do something else. And I said, I can't. This is the only thing that God's ever called me to do. Went to college, majored in church ministry, minored in psychology, started seminary after that, went back and was working at a church, and things were good. Had our first kid. We were on staff. I was went from being a youth pastor. Now I was leading college, young adults, young marrieds. Right. And it was just a good season of life. And I remember waking up in the morning, 2:00 in the morning, and just knowing God placed a different vision on my life that night, and just began praying, God, I know you have something more. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to know? And God just continued to say, hey, I've got plans for you. I've got preparation for you. You need to be ready for them. You need to be ready for them. Well, after 9 months of praying every single day, we went through this journey and felt like God was calling us to step out. Right. We interviewed for churches all over the state of Texas.
Really?
All over the place. And one by one, doors were closed for us. I'd taken the biggest step of faith in my life. I'd trusted God like I'd never trusted him before. Was married, had a new baby, and every door closed. And I just began being depressed and going, God, you sold me out. God, you called me and you left me. You left me here, God. How could you do this to me? I ended up needing a job because if you have a wife and kid at home, you kind of need a job as a man, despite what the world has to say, right? You do need a job.
It's another episode.
Yeah. Ended up becoming a Dallas police officer.
Yeah.
And was there for 7 years, set between two Marines. I think you did Marine intelligence. I've never met an intelligent Marine, but maybe that's not the same thing.
Colors do taste good.
Okay.
It's a fact, man. So.
But through this process, I was angry with God and mad at God and just felt like God sold me out. And over again, God just told me, I'm not finished with you.
Okay.
I'm not finished with you. I'm not finished with you. I'm going, but God, I'm sitting in South Dallas at 2:00 in the morning in a squad car in the rain. What do you want from me? And God just kept on saying, I'm not finished with you. Ended up going back on staff at a church. I was there for 9 years. That's really where me and you met.
Yeah, that's right.
And God just continued to say, continue to lean in, continue to learn. I have something different for you. And it was in that season of God saying, continue to lean into me, continue to listen to what I have for you, that God began to stir my heart again. Didn't know what it was going to look like. And really the calling was, how do you pastor pastors? How do you pastor leaders? Right. How do you invest in leaders? And that was the question. And so I began getting some of my own life coaching and leadership coaching in my life, which just opened up the door for where I am now doing executive leadership coaching, doing some church consulting, really investing in leaders at every level.
That's great, man. I think that's good for everybody listening or watching to know a little bit about, where we're coming from as pastors.
It's been a journey.
Man, I had the chance to sit down with a guy this week and talk about, hey, what is a campus pastor? Because that's the role that I'm in right now. I do coaching and leadership stuff supplementally, but it is the best job in the world. And he says, well, was there confusion about when you came into that role? Like, yeah, there really was, because there were so many different, so many different expectations. And so pick whatever role that you think people are in, whatever role they're in, there's so many different expectations that people have on them. And I think that's one of the things that really we're going to touch on, and we're going to illuminate, like, hey, yes, there are a lot of expectations from your spouse, from your kids, from your boss, from people, from your church. I do have expectations for the people who are committed to the church. How do you balance that? How do you keep God central? And is it biblical to continue to have ambition? Is it biblical to have this desire to accomplish more for the kingdom? One of the things that we will get deep into is spiritual leadership. Yeah. And that's one of the things I'm crazy excited about.
Yeah. And just for me, that is it okay to have ambition? Me and you've talked about, I've been studying Ephesians for a while and really studying the letters of Paul. And in Ephesians 2:10, it says, I've prepared good works for you. I've prepared things for you to do. Go walk in them. And so to understand our calling and to be able to have the confidence that God has prepared things for us.
Right.
1:6 says, and it's all for the praise of his glorious grace.
Yes.
So we can go do great things. We can go do huge things. We can go do things that change the world, and it all should point to the praise of his glorious grace.
Come on now. So I think that if somebody's listening right now and they're asking themselves, well, I'm a good leader. I'm in a position where I feel like I'm good. What would you say to that, man? Is there still room for growth?
Well, there is no finish line for growth.
You never arrive.
There's no arrival. It's like, oh, wow, I got to that point.
That's right.
And people think, well, maybe that's a money position, a status position, a title position. But growth is the investment in yourself. Yeah. And there is no greater investment than investing in yourself.
Amen.
It is the investment that will always reap a return. I mean, you can look all the way through the book of Proverbs and understand there's biblical wisdom by investing and leaning into God and learning always and never stopping that journey. And I think that's what we've both been on, is this journey to continue to grow, invest in myself, because when I invest in myself, everyone around me is better.
Have you ever been asked this? Like, hey, what's enough? like you've read the books, you've gone to the conferences, you've been mentored by these people. Like, when is it? Has anybody ever asked you that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did it irritate you a little bit?
Yeah, because you want to quit it is what I hear. That's all I think I hear as a leader going, are you just looking for a reason that you can quit?
Yeah.
You just want to quit early? And going, no. God has divine calling upon your life wherever you are. You're a CEO. You are a stay-at-home mom you said you don't like that term or whatever that is, that God has divine calling and purpose upon your life. So use that for his divine purpose.
Okay.
Okay. So for you,
yep.
What are you most excited about right now for this podcast, and what do you see it going?
I think the area that we're going to cover, right? We talked about who we wanted to reach with this. Who are the people? Who's our target audience? And really, because there are so many different people that this is going to apply to, I think that's the thing I'm super excited about. We said we weren't going to strike a match unless it burned for the Lord. And there are so many people that are still trying to get their legs underneath them. Maybe they're a new believer. Maybe they've been believing for a long time, and they're trying to figure out what this looks like in the business world at home. I'm a new dad. What the heck do I do now? How do I want my kids to have a different path than me. I really feel, because people have mentored us, poured into us. So now as we talk about biblical stewardship, Nick, I feel like this is the next yes that we're supposed to give in order to be obedient, to equip the people who are watching on YouTube and listening to this on whatever they're listening on. I don't even know what's out there. We're saying, hey, we want to put some things in your hands. But more than that, if John Maxwell says leadership is influence at its core, and if leadership is influence, then influence is heavily impacted by your character.
Absolutely.
So whatever we do, I think every time, number one, we're going to mention the name of Jesus, and we're going to frame everything around biblical principles. We'll get deep some episodes, and some episodes going to be leadership heavy. Absolutely, I see that, and I am excited for that. We're going to go both ways, but I think as we're talking about character, you can have a great character and be a poor leader and not be effective. You can be a great. You could have great character and be a kind of a mediocre leader and not be effective. And I think what people might be surprised to hear is you can have a great character and be a great leader and still not be effective if you're not emotionally and socially in tune and intelligent. And so we're going to cover all of that, man. I'm so excited.
Man, you're coming with heavy hitters right there off the bat. I love it that you got to have all those components. Mm-hmm. And it can feel overwhelming, right? As leaders and influencers, whether you're influencing a small group or a big group, they can feel like, well, I don't have all those things. Right. And I'm just going to say, you don't have to have all those things.
That's good.
You don't have to have you just take one more step, right?
Yeah.
That you just take one more step, you learn one more thing, you invest one more time, and you don't quit. And so I always tell people that the number one rule of success, and no one can argue with me. John Maxwell can't argue with me. I don't care whether leaders are out there, they can't argue. The number one rule for success is you have to get started.
You have to get started.
You have to get started.
That's right.
And then the number two rule for success is you have to keep going.
Good.
So you can't have success if you don't get started and you don't keep going, because leadership is about perseverance. Yeah. Leadership is about doing hard things. It's about getting started, keep on going, and continuing to remember your focus and your purpose.
That's great. So if you were to coach somebody right now in this moment, if I'm sitting across from you and I'm saying, I hear all that, but when do I get started?
Yeah, it's like now. Well, actually, I would say you're at the right place, because we're going to help you in that journey. That's what this Leading Forward is all about. Leading Forward is you are here.
Yeah.
This is everything in your life, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad. All those things have led you to today.
Yeah.
What now? And leading forward, that we have to begin investing in ourselves. I love that John Maxwell says the best mentor is a book that you buy. That's your first mentor.
For sure.
So go buy a book. Go buy something that can invest in you. I always tell people 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John Maxwell is a perfect place to start.
It's great. Okay, so I kind of rambled on for a moment there. Why is doing this podcast like personally important to you, Nick?
For me, know that God's just given me a heart of a pastor. This is actually some of the things I pray. God would give me the heart of a pastor, the mind of a teacher, and the zeal of the wisdom of a leader.
That's great.
So, heart of a pastor, mind of a teacher, and the zeal and wisdom of a leader. So, if God gives you wisdom and God's teaching you things, it's so that you can teach.
Yes.
And you can invest in others. It doesn't no good. And, I told you I write a lot and I've been writing a lot. And God's just convicted me. I've given you these things to write, not for your journal. They're for you to invest in others. And so as leaders, the more we learn, the more we have to give.
So you're not the final destination of the blessings and the gifts and the things
right.
God's entrusted you with. I love that, man.
And so I think that your 20s are to grind. Your 30s are to learn. Your 40s are to grow, and your 50s are to give.
That's right.
And so grind, learn, grow, and give.
Love that.
And so we do all those in every season, but that's just an idea of, for me in this season, how do I begin as I'm growing, continue to start giving more and more.
So here's a question.
And no, I'm not in my 50s.
I was going to make a joke about that.
I knew you were about to take a shot.
How old are you?
46.
We're throwing it out for everybody.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. I am too. I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Got too many things to come. So with that, if somebody's listening right now and they're an entrepreneur and they're crushing right now, they're successful and they're in their 50s, 60s, they're resourcing people, are they still going to get value from this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Why do you think so?
Because we need to learn something every day.
That's right.
So my new book's coming out soon.
Yes.
Big dreams, small steps. We need to dream bigger. We need to believe God for bigger. We need to go after bigger.
Vision.
We need to have bigger vision for our life. And we need to take the small steps to get there.
Yeah.
And so often we think that I've got to make big leaps, but it's these small steps.
Yes.
And so my small steps every day I want to learn something new.
Yeah.
And add value to every conversation.
Add value. That's right.
So no matter where I am, how do I add value? Mm-hmm. So for the leader in their 50s, 60s, 70s, learn something new every day and find how to add value.
Man, you know what I love about that? Like if you think back to school, college, whatever kind of training you had, there were a lot of practical things that you learned, some not, right?
True. Algebra 2
but
has not helped me one bit.
Oh, man. But there's also like public speaking, and you may take some courses like that. But have you ever taken a course that's actually how to ask great questions? How to sit down with somebody and think strategically. Who do they know that I need to know? Who do I know that they need to know? What questions am I going to ask? Like going into every encounter with strategy, purpose, and intention.
Every single conversation.
Yeah, but nobody teaches that in a classroom setting. So,
and I hope that's some of the things we're going to be able to do.
Heck yeah.
Is teach some strategy for personal growth, strategy for leadership and influence. If you want better answers, you got to ask better questions.
Ask better questions.
So we're going to ask better questions. We're going to help people to ask better questions.
That's right.
In order that they can get better answers, which leads to better success, new opportunities.
Bam. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, you cool if we start to wrap it up
Yeah.
and kind of wind
Absolutely.
up? You know, I was going to tell a story.
I know you had a story for us. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. And I remembered his name. So we started talking about this, and this is for everybody listening. I want to leave you with something. We promised, we said, hey, we're going to leave you with something, whether it's a call to action, an encouragement, whatever the case is. Maybe it's a great question for self-reflection, for reflection on your family or business. So there was a guy named Sergeant Montes. And this, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was early in. I don't remember what training I was in, but this cat, I think I was a private first class, slick, like rookie. And we're about to get PT'd, physical training. So we line up, and
Which means you're about to get destroyed.
Smoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just make sure everybody's clear on
guy.
this.
This guy was an animal. He was yoked. He was, he had whatever. So he gets us out there and we line up and he goes, and the way that you do exercises is we come up with dumb names. For example, a jumping jack is side straddle hop.
Wait. Side straddle
3
hop.
words.
Okay.
Yeah.
For jumping jack.
For jumping jack. So it goes like this. Hey, my name is Sergeant Montez.
He said it that soft and that easy and that nice.
Probably. Sure. He said, your next exercise will be side straddle hop. I will count the cadence. You will count the repetition. And so it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. And then the next thing you're supposed to say is how many you will do. We will do 20 of them. So when we started, he said, my name is Sergeant Montez. Your next exercise is side straddle hop. We will do many of them. Many of them. And you know what stands out in my mind, bro? It was that in that environment, and we did, and he fulfilled his promise. We did many of them, so much so that I think his goal was to punish us in that moment. And that's what it is. But we weren't scared. We weren't overwhelmed. In fact, we smiled. And you know why we did that? It's because we knew we had each other. We knew we were in good hands.
Love that.
That it was going to be hard, really hard, but there was going to be an end to it. There was going to be an end, and there were better things coming. And so I believe that's a takeaway for all of us today. Maybe you're in something. Jesus says this, right? He says, John 16:33, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world. And let that encourage you today, whatever you're in, know this. If you're in godly community, amazing. You've got amazing people with you. If you're not, get there like now. Find a church, find godly community, and trust that Jesus has already fulfilled it. He's taking care of it. It will end. The hard thing will end if you get started, if you trust him, and whatever he's setting in front of you, whatever that looks like today, get started now.
And that's the only way to lead forward.
Bam.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us for episode 1 of Leading Forward with Nick and Jeremy. We look forward to seeing you next week. Go lead and do it well.
Let's go. Thank you.